Yo, what's up, guys? Today I'm very excited to finally get to make a video on this amazing new Souls-like game that just came out called Another Crab's Treasure. So this is a game that I had not heard anything about at all, despite it being literally exactly the type of game I would dream up in my mind. Until I finally saw an announcement that the game was going to be launching day one on Xbox Game Pass about a week before the game came out. So I immediately was hyped when I saw the trailer because basically this is a Souls-like that's set in an underwater world in the ocean, and it's full of color, full of sea creatures. It's got a cool sense of humor, and it does everything that you know and love about a Souls-like really well. Like, it doesn't fail in any way. So right off the bat, if you're not playing this on Xbox Game Pass like I am, you have other options. You could play this on PlayStation, PC, and even Nintendo Switch. This is a game that is coming from a very small indie studio, only about 12 developers, and it's not a big budget game. It's when you go to download it, it's only about 4 gigabytes, at least it is on Xbox, and that means it works well on a console like even the underpowered Nintendo Switch. So if you are looking for like a new Souls-like game that isn't the same old like dark, somewhat scary environment, now you're still going to have that same level of challenge as you're used to with Souls-like games, but this is just like unlike any of them in terms of the way it looks. It is just so vibrant and beautiful. And I just love it so much. I am a huge fan of the beach, sea creatures, whether it be myths, real life, whatever it is. I love all things ocean. My logo is a samurai with dolphins. Like, if that doesn't tell you that I like the ocean, I don't know what's going to. I just can't believe that a game like this exists. It is just amazing. And it even has a really good story. So basically, before I talk about all the gameplay and stuff, I want to give you a brief summary of the story. So you're this crab, and your shell, like your home, is stolen from you basically by, we'll just say, the government. The government says you haven't paid your taxes. They come in and take your shell, and your mission is to get your shell back. So there is 69 different shells in the game that you can pick up. Some of them have similar abilities, but there's a good variety of abilities still, and they all look different, whether it be things like an eggshell, a boxing glove, a tissue box, a soda can that shoots out fizzy bubbles. The options are endless. Like, there's seriously so many, and they're so cool. Another thing, you see these pencils right now, like, they've got life-size objects that have fallen down in the ocean, and the main point of the story is that the ocean is being basically polluted to the point that it's turning some of these sea creatures like crazy. And it's a simple story, but it's really good. And like someone who loves the ocean and like loves the earth and like wants our earth to not be polluted, yeah, I align with this story. I like it a lot. And you don't have to get super into the story. It's got a few voice actor sections, but most of it's going to be just like scrolling through dialogue. And you can go through it quickly. You don't have to go through all that stuff. But if you do care, you can pay attention to that. Now, the gameplay. Oh my gosh. This gameplay is just so good because it's hard, but it's not super hard. Like, this is a good intro Souls-like for someone who's not really familiar with the genre yet. So you start out with like a little fork as your weapon, and you don't have a shell. But as you see here, I've got a soda can on back because you can pick up these shells that you find along the way, and you will sometimes get an ability with it. You definitely have some magic powers along too, so you can get some ranged attacks, but what I'm about to do here is I'm about to get basically a fishing wire, which allows me to swing from hooks, like fishing hooks, like Spider-Man basically. So when you're like opening up new shortcuts, a lot of the time you'll be hooking on to a hook to get up to the area you were at before, and it's done really well. You're not just climbing ladders like you are in every other game. There's actually no ladders so far that I've seen. You can climb nets and stuff, but it's mostly hooking onto hooks like that. And soaring through the sky as this little itty bitty crab, and you're taking on these huge sea creatures that are literally like so much bigger, like huge lobsters and all sorts of other creatures. I mean, it's very creative the way they do this game. Another random thing about it that I just love is that it has such good music. It's not overbearing with how much music there is. There's even parts where there is no music, but when the music comes on, you'll like it. And then of course there's boss battles, as you see here. I'm fighting the first boss, and still they're hard, but they're not so freaking hard that you can't beat them like ever. Like a game like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, Bloodborne, like those games I really struggle with sometimes. This, I die a lot still, don't get me wrong, but I've been able to beat every boss I've encountered so far, and I've played probably 10 of them. I've beaten none of them on the first try, so it's not so easy that it's just like a cakewalk, you know. It's still going to challenge you. And this is a single player only game, so a lot of the Souls-like will have like some co-op, but there's none of that. You are playing by yourself only, so it's up to you. Now you're going to meet interesting NPCs along the way, gain new abilities, level up as you choose, because you're going to have different pathways on your skill tree, and you can combine these things called stowaways, which are things that attach to your shell to give you different abilities or buffs or debuffs. This game's deep. For such a cheap game, it's $30 if you're not playing it on Game Pass. You know, I'm playing it for free with my subscription, but if you're buying it, it's still only $30. And this game is so deep. I mean, I did not expect this game to be this good. Now, if you see over in the distance that little like DNA strand coming up that's pink and flashing, those are like the places that you save your progress and like can upgrade your level, swap out, or not necessarily swap out shells. Some shells you can buy insurance for, so you can always have them when you respawn. But as you see, here's the upgrade place. You got these 4 basic stats that you can put up, and then you also have like a magical ability tree. But you will upgrade it. Like there's a bunch of different places you'll be going to do your upgrades, whether it be upgrading your abilities or selling off junk. As you see, here's all the 69 shells. This is right at the beginning of the game where I had none of them. But I have since gotten at least half of them. I've been playing the daylights out of this game. And now this boss battle here was extremely hard. I finally beat it. This is the one that took me the longest so far. It was just so hard. But, you know, once you beat a boss, as with all Souls-like games, you just feel so good. And I cannot recommend this game enough. These developers knocked this out of the park. This is honestly my favorite Souls-like game I've ever played. And that's really saying something, because I've played a lot of them here lately. Whether it be Thymesia, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Lies of P. Like, I've played so many here recently. And this is my favorite. And I think it comes down to the ocean setting and the bright colors and the sense of humor the game has. It's just a different vibe that you're not going to get with these other games of the genre. Now, I've said a bunch about this, but the only way you're going to know for sure if it's for you is to try it out. And I highly recommend you do so, especially if you have Game Pass. There is nothing stopping you. You just got to give this a chance, especially if you love Souls-like. And even if you don't have Game Pass, this is an instant buy for me. The only gripe I have with it is there are a few bugs here and there, and they're working hard to push out updates to fix that. But it's an indie game. It is what it is. And the only bugs I've really encountered is maybe every once in a while you'll get stuck in a wall or an enemy will. Luckily, you can just pause the game and die at any time and just go pick your stuff up. So it's not a big deal. It hasn't broke the game for me at any point, but you just got to know that. Otherwise, this game is amazing. I'd give it probably like a 9.5 out of 10. So those IGN reviews were no joke. It looks better and plays better than Stellar Blade. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like below. Comment if you are thinking of picking up another Crab's Treasure, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I appreciate you watching that video. I'll catch you in another one soon. Peace out.